the first admin meeting of the month of December. Maddie, would you mind doing roll call in whichever manner you prefer?
All right, online we have MCAT, Alicia Buckholz, Michelle Denman, Bryce Christians, Missoula Current, Melissa Fisher, and Christina Dewar. In the room, we have Commissioners Slotnick and Strohmeyer. House of France, Brian West, John Wilkie, myself, Maddie Scott, Chris Lounsbury, Andrew Chorney, Ann Hughes, Brenna Davis, Carrie Powers, Hannah Tester, Kaya Peterson, Andrew Hagemeyer, and Griffin Smith.
Yay!
Good job.
Take a breath. You gotta spell it.
Right, is there any public comment on items not on the agenda? Anyone online like to say anything? Okay, we will move on. We have a consent agenda today with only 14 items because it looks like item 13 has been postponed. Any questions, Josh?
Good. I've read through this. Feel good about all of it.
Okay, I will second that motion.
Excellent. Thank you, sir.
Any further discussion on the consent agenda or public comment? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, moving on to action items today. Are you introducing this next item for us?
Yeah, so we have a resolution for you. It's for Missoula County to opt into the NeighborWorks Montana Community Reinvestment Organization. This is a fund that leverages one-time only funding from the state for down payment assistance for households earning between 60% and 140% of AMI. It can provide up to 30% of the purchase price for a home for down payment assistance. And it caps the monthly payment of the home at 30% of the household gross income. And in order for Missoula County residents to access these funds, the county needs to opt into a community reinvestment organization. This program was created by House Bill 19 in the last session. And yeah, by selecting NeighborWorks Montana, that enables NeighborWorks Montana to receive this funding from the state, which NeighborWorks Montana will then have to work to match that fund. So double the money of $6 million from the state to a total of $12 million for down payment assistance. And yeah, any questions about that?
So this is,
And we have Kaya here.
yeah.
There's anything
This is something I followed very closely and feel really up to speed on, and I've learned a ton from Kaya and Hannah, and I really appreciate all the time you spent with me to bring me up to speed. I started off really not understanding and feel like I have a better sense of it now, and I'm excited that we can take part in this unique kind of historic opportunity. Do want to let Griffin know the match requirement. It's a 1-to-1 match, and John said it, but I do need to say it again, is not local property tax dollars. It's not Missoula County money. NeighborWorks is fundraising for that match.
Anything you'd like to add?
We're just excited and hopeful for the opportunity. And I think it's a great opportunity for Missoula homeowners.
Yeah, and the statewide piece of it's kind of cool because you guys are representing other counties as well.
Yeah. So we have Lincoln County, Fergus, Judith Basin, Gallatin have all signed on. I feel like maybe I'm missing one, but so far, yep. And we have continued meetings with multiple counties through the end of the year.
So the way this would work, and these guys, please correct me when I get this wrong. Let's say Griffin took NeighborWorks up on this offer. You were able to get 30% of the cost of buying a new home as down payment assistance. You would be on the hook for paying that money back when you sold the property. It's not added to the debt service you pay every month on your mortgage. You pay that money back after you sell the property. But by agreeing to do this, you also cap your appreciation, how much money you can make when you resell the house. So you trade the ability to cash in on a boom market for the opportunity to actually enjoy the stability benefits of home ownership. If that makes sense?
The payback, I'm a little confused by the payback.
Sure. So let's say you take Kaya and Hannah's money, It's not their money, but I'm just shorthand. Shorthand. Yeah, they're administering. You take their money that gets you into a house. When you sell that house, let's say you get $50,000 from them. When you sell the house, you got to give them back the $50,000. But during the time you own the house, let's say you own it for 10 years and you're making payments every month on your mortgage, you're not making any payments on that 50 grand. So this is kind of, it's real money, but it's never money that you've actually had. It's embedded in your home. And then when you sell the home, it goes back to the fund. You're not paying that every month, paying on that every month as if it was a loan. Does that make sense? So this gets you into a house that you could probably afford the payments on if you get the 50 grand. But without that 50 grand addition, you wouldn't be able to make the payments. You'd have 5% down payment instead of a 35% down payment. So this allows you to get into home ownership. Now, you are sacrificing future equity by taking these guys up on the deal, because by signing on, you are also signing on to an appreciation cap, which means, let's say homes go up 35% in the 10 years that you own them, you own your house, you don't get to cash in. You get 1% of the total appreciation. Now, the house can sell for whatever it sells for, but you only get 1% of that. And that difference, let's say it sells for 35% more, goes to an investor at the state who has bankrolled this thing. So it's definitely a kind of a public-private deal where somebody's going to make a bunch of money, and hopefully people like you are going to get into houses. And these guys are meeting their mission. So it can really be win-win.
And so people that want to get involved in this, how do they reach out? Is this process open now for applications?
These guys should answer that.
Yeah, the process will be similar to all of our other down payment assistance products, where they go through first mortgage lenders, those lenders, and meet with housing counselors who help them understand, best products that work for them. So then we would receive applications through first mortgage lenders. We have to get program approved through the state, so that won't happen till mid-January.
And how does this compare to your other down payment assistance funds or programs?
So we have NeighborWorks Montana now has 2 amortizing products, which means they come with a monthly obligation as well as an interest rate. One of those will pay up to 20% of the home price. We have one deferred product, which is similar to how this one would work, where the money is owed when the home is sold. That one serves only up to 80% of the area median. This product would serve up to 140%. So we're getting a little bit more of those low to middle income families.
Sure. Have you heard, a lot of interest so far since the House bill was passed, or?
From counties? Yes, there is a lot of interest from counties. The product isn't released yet. The program isn't available to the public yet. So pipeline development would happen after that.
Okay. Any more questions?
Got it?
Yeah.
So
Any other questions?
Say thanks to John for helping, and thanks to you guys for all the time and effort. And really, I really do appreciate all the educating of me.
Any other questions from anyone? Anyone online? Okay, good.
Absolutely, there's my motion.
Okay, I'll second that. Any further discussion or public comment on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, off to the races. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks all.
Thanks, John.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
You bet. Chris, the next item is yours. This is an agreement for a loan between Missoula County and Stepping Stones LLC.
Good morning, Commissioners. So yes, this is the second loan out of the Mental Health Revolving Trust Loan Fund that you created during the COVID pandemic using ARPA funding. This loan is to Stepping Stones LLC, which provides treatment and co-occurring treatment for folks with mental health and substance abuse disorders here in Missoula. This loan will allow them to modify some of the space that they're in to provide additional counseling services to folks in their programs. They do have contracts with Missoula County in addition to this loan through Justice Court and a few of our other programs like Road Court. And so this will give them that opportunity to continue to expand and provide services. And then this loan, similar to the one that we did with Western Montana, has a 1-year forbearance, so they won't make any payments for the first year, and then after that, payments would begin. And we do have Sherry Rigg, who's the head of Stepping Stones here, as well as I think a member of her board. Sorry, as well, if you have questions.
Yeah,
Would like to add anything.
Would either of you like to say anything?
Sure, thank you. We're just really excited about this opportunity to expand our services. We currently have a waiting list and we are crowded with having hired some new therapists to handle the excess participation in our program. And so we're excited to be able to provide some more space for those therapists to do their work. And we're expanding our peer support program as well as the therapy part of it. So we're really excited about being able to do this. This is my board member, Victoria Edmonds, is here.
And I'd like to add how important this is for Stepping Stones. It's really critical that we offer these services for people in our community because there's a lot of people in need and not enough services to really go around. So I think this is another of the public-private kind of, as you were discussing earlier with housing, that I think are very important for Missoula. So I thank you.
Seems like the need is super obvious and really glad you guys can rise to meet it. And it just have to call it out loud, it's a loan.
Yes.
So do you feel like meeting the need will also generate revenue so you can pay back the loan?
Yes.
Is there a different plan there?
One of the projects that we put into our proposal was to hire a grant writer fundraiser position. So we're hoping that person will generate more revenue. But right now, we do have the capability of paying the loan back even without
Future grant, right? Great, I'm glad you added that.
that.
Thank you. Any other questions from anyone online or here in the room?
Let's help these guys out.
Okay, I'll second that. Any further discussion or public comment on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So then commissioners, in front of you, you have the document itself. I just need your signatures on the first page and then we'll get Sherry's notarized with Christine out there.
One thing though.
Absolutely.
It's Stepping Stones Behavioral Health Services, Inc.
Inc,
It's
sorry.
not LLC.
Sorry.
We're a 501c3.
Need to,
No, it's correct in the documents. Yeah.
okay.
It's just me. Oh, Dave still needs his blue pen for a different item, so.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming all the way
You
down.
bet.
Was worth the parking,
Yeah.
the hassle. Sorry.
All right, the next item also is Chris's. This is providing some direction to our CAO related to identifying a service provider for Riverwalk.
So commissioners, as you know, we have a management and operations agreement with Western Montana Mental Health Center to operate our crisis receiving facility located on their campus, which is known as Riverwalk. And so over the last year, we've kind of been evaluating that program as it's come online, working with the Strategic Alliance for Behavioral Health, our partners at Providence St. Patrick's Hospital, members of the Strategic Alliance, as well as the staff at Western Montana Mental Health. So as we've gone through that process, we've kind of noticed where there have been gaps and inability to kind of meet all of the service needs that kind of were our hope around the way that Riverwalk would be able to meet the needs of our community. And so as we hit that first year of operation, we sat down with Western to talk about whether or not we're kind of where we need to be for that program. And there are definitely continue to be some gaps in our ability to meet the needs of the public. And so we're working collaboratively with Western and the Strategic Alliance to kind of develop a new plan, a new way that we can approach that model for the second year of operation. And so what I'm looking for today really is just direction to continue that work with them. And then as we work with Western Montana Mental Health, the Strategic Alliance, we will come back to you with a new operating agreement for the second year, kind of looking to how we expand those services and how we make that second year even more functional for our crisis receiving center. So that's kind of what we're looking for today. And Josh, I know you wanted to.
Yeah, just because this is something I've really been involved in and everything that Chris said is 100% correct as usual. I just want to add some thanks and appreciations on top of this. Bob Lopp, who is the current and new CEO of Western, has been super cooperative and helpful and collaborative. And I think that's the operative word here. Bob has shown lots of desire to work with the other members of the Strategic Alliance for Behavioral Health to come up with a new strategy for managing this thing because the burden is large and it's really only going to work if lots of partners come together. And that's the spirit we're seeing from folks at Providence, at PHC, at Western Montana Mental Health, all put their heads together to try and figure this out. Future looks bright.
Yeah, and I will say, you know, Missoula is the first crisis receiving center of its type in the state of Montana, and so it's not unexpected that there would be some hiccups during the first year. Billings, Yellowstone County has one in Billings, but it's a different model than we're using here in Missoula, and so again, we knew that there'd be some challenges, and so I think this review's probably times out well after our first year of service.
Okay. Any other questions from anyone on this?
Awesome. I would that we direct the CAO under the terms of the management agreement with Western to identify a service provider.
I'll second that. Further discussion or public comment? Being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you, Chris.
Thanks.
And our
This is the
last,
second one, Dave, Andrew is going to talk to you about when you get there.
okay, yes, I will hold off signing that.
Don't sign it yet.
So Andrew, talk to us about,
This is a loan that I've been working on with Board of Investments in their infrastructure improvement program.
Are these the industrial tax credits?
It's based on job credits.
Yes, that's the one I get in my head.
Actually, the loan itself won't materialize until 18 months from now. It's after construction. I'm sorry, it's Montana Knife Company. Let me back up. It's between Montana Knife Company and the Board of Investments. We're acting as a conduit simply because they need a good entity in the middle to act as a conduit. We have no liability in this situation whatsoever. All of the risk is with Montana Knife and the Board of Investments. The reason they're doing it is they're getting a lower interest loan because they're creating a certain amount of jobs, and the jobs are put into calculate determines the amount of money they can actually borrow. And I think currently it's $3.6 million. That will come after the facility is actually built, and then they will borrow the money 18 months from now. We put a number of words into the resolution that we will only enter into the agreement if it's okay with our bond counsel, and a number of, well, weasel words I call them, but yeah, it's a ways out so that we can get out. But it is a little bit like the direct TV loan, only very much
Better than-
oh gosh, so much.
yeah,
better.
okay.
You don't have to keep track of the people they employ or the employment numbers or anything else between them and the BOI. So.
And is it the case that the payments that Montana Knife will make on this loan, they can use to take off their state taxes?
I don't know if that's true.
I think that's what Courtney was telling me the other day. That,
Courtney told you?
yeah, that there's two benefits. One is the cheap money that you mentioned.
Right,
and then
right.
The second one was a tax break.
They take the tax break.
Yeah, it's instead of paying, because it's instead of like when you buy a house and you can deduct the interest, this is they can deduct the entirety of each payment from their taxes. So it's really, it's a great, if I understood Courtney right, a really great program
I
for
know that we collect a lease payment is exactly the same amount of the debt payment that goes to the Board of Investments.
Yeah, and
So
it's kind of
through that.
it's kind of an interesting structure where we are sort of an owner and they're leasing, but the lease is actually paying back the loan and that they get to take those payments off their taxes.
And I think-
So it's really a benefit to Montana Knife.
Right. So anyway,
So it's been through bond councils.
it has been. In fact, Courtney wrote the document.
Okay, well, that's good. Okay, any other questions?
Let's get this done.
Let's do it.
Oh, Montana Knife.
I'll second that. Any further discussion or public comment on the motion to approve this? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. Okay, is there any other business to come before us here today? We're done. Thank you, everyone.